Madeline McCann, a 3-year-old British girl, vanished from her family's holiday apartment in Portugal on May 3, 2007. Despite extensive searches and global media coverage, she remains missing. Her disappearance led to numerous theories, sightings, and suspects, but no definitive answers. The chilling mystery and suspected abduction continue to haunt and intrigue the world. The Ipswich serial offings, also known as the Suffolk Strangler case, involved the offing of 5 women in 2006 in Ipswich, England. The victims, all S workers, were found without clothes on in rural locations. Steve Wright, a local forklift driver, was convicted of the offings. His methodical approach and the speed of his crimes over just 10 days left the community in fear and shock. Rescue workers searching for missing British teenager Jay Slater in Tenerife found a body. A police statement said that initial evidence suggested the person found had suffered an accidental fall in the inaccessible zone. Jay Slater was last seen on the 17th of June after visiting an Airbnb rented by 2 people he had been with at a music festival on the Spanish island. The 2015 Philadelphia train derailment of Amtrak 188 resulted in 8 fatalities and over 200 injuries. The train, traveling at more than twice the speed limit, flew off a curve, causing passengers to be violently thrown about. The scene was chaotic and grim, with rescue teams working through the night to extract victims from the mangled wreckage. In 2019, a teenager, Emily Eckles, suffered a severe facial injury when her horse bolted after being spooked by a car's exhaust. She hit a gate post and was left holding the bottom of her face in her hands. Her jaw was attached by only a centimeter of skin. The reconstructive surgeon Ricardo Mohammed Ali successfully rebuilt her face in a 6-hour operation. This is a body cam image of Brent Thompson after he was stopped by cops on the I-25 in Colorado. He gave the cops a fake name and then attempted to flee. The cop tased him, causing him to collapse. Moments later, an SUV struck him as he laid on the ground. This is a photo of a Japanese boy waiting for his turn to cremate his little brother who passed away towards the end of World War II. When a guard told him to give him the load on his back, the boy replied, saying, "It's not cargo, sir. It's my little brother." The miracle of Dunkirk in 1940 saw over 330,000 Allied troops evacuated from France under relentless German attacks. Soldiers faced harrowing conditions, constant bombings, strafing from enemy aircraft, and the threat of capture. The chaotic, desperate escape across the English Channel remains a morbid testament to wartime peril and resilience. When pets like dogs and cats are left alone with their deceased owners, they may resort to eating the bodies. This behavior is thought to stem from the animals' distress at seeing their owners unconscious or injured. Initially, the pets may lick and nip at the owner's face for comfort, but this can lead to them drawing blood. Once the blood is drawn, the pet's natural instincts can take over, leading them to consume parts of the body. Ladarius Brownlee, a North Texas man popular on TikTok, is charged with allegedly shooting his girlfriend, Sayedeh Zahra Hashemi, in the head after a 4th of July celebration. The couple, known as Deno and Zara, with over 150,000 followers, was identified through Brownlee's tattoos. Brownlee confessed during a 911 call and to investigators. After a heated argument, he allegedly ordered Hashemi into his SUV, retrieved a Glock, and shot her. Brownlee was arrested and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and deadly conduct for discharging a firearm. Hashemi's current condition is unknown. In July 2011, Chantal Levine died from hyperthermia during a Dying in Consciousness seminar in Quebec. Participants were wrapped in blankets, plastic, and cardboard boxes for 9 hours without food or water, leading to her death. Organizers Gabrielle Fréchette, Ginette Duclos, and Gerald Fontaine were later arrested and sentenced, but released after 6 months. In December 2013, 58-year-old Denver Lee St. Clair was asphyxiated by an atomic wedgie administered by his stepson during a fight. After he had been knocked unconscious, the elastic band from his torn underwear was pulled over his head and stretched around his neck, strangling him. The stepson, Brad Davis, was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Investigators believed that before Davis called the emergency services, he altered the crime scene to make it look like the pair had been brawling. In March 2024, a 24-year-old Bengaluru man named Yogesh died due to a burst colon after his friend blew air into his rectum with an electric high-pressure blow dryer used for vehicles. The friend was playfully blowing air at him, and when he turned to shield his face, the force of the air was such that it entered his rectum and severely damaged his colon. In 2019, Iranian woman Sahar Kodayari protested against the ban on female attendance at sports events by setting herself on fire outside a Tehran courthouse. This tragic event occurred after she faced a potential 6-month prison sentence for attempting to enter a stadium disguised as a man to watch her favorite football team, Esteghlal Football Club. Sahar tragically succumbed to her injuries a week later. 6-year-old Timothy Pitson mysteriously disappeared. Timothy's mother, Amy, offed herself in a motel room. She claimed in a note that Timothy was in the care of someone trustworthy, but would never be found. On May 11, 2011, Timothy was dropped off at school in Aurora, Illinois, by his father, James Pitson. His mother, Amy Fry Pitson, picked him up soon after and took him on a 3-day trip to several amusement and water parks. Amy's was later discovered offed in a motel room in Rockford, Illinois, where she had offed herself. This is where the note was found that stated Timothy was safe but would never be found. Timothy would be 19 years old today. Despite extensive searches, he has never been located. In 1964, Kitty Genovese was brutally attacked and offed outside her New York apartment. Over 30 witnesses reportedly heard her screams, yet no one intervened or called the police. Her offing exposed the chilling bystander effect, where people assume others will take action, leading to a horrifying lack of response. The case remains a disturbing example of urban apathy and human indifference. In September 2019, Shelley Puchalski had a serious accident when she tripped over her pet dog and fell headfirst into the dirt, causing a skull infection that led to the rotting of her skin. She was immediately taken to the hospital, where she received 40 stitches. Unfortunately, these stitches became infected with bacteria, which caused her to develop sepsis and a severe hole in her forehead that nearly exposed her skull. Additionally, Shelley was diagnosed with osteomyelitis, a condition where bacteria from an infected wound or nearby infected tissue enter the bloodstream and settle in the bone, causing inflammation. To save her life, she underwent a major surgery in February 2021, where she was cut from ear to ear to remove the infection and rework her skin grafts. She was also put on a long course of antibiotics to combat the infection. Martha Moxley was brutally offed on October 30th, 1975, in her own yard in Greenwich, Connecticut. Just 15 years old, she was last seen alive at a neighbor's house. Her body was found the next day under a tree, bludgeoned with a golf club. The case went unsolved for decades, haunting the town and sparking rumors of high-profile cover-ups. At Devil's Kettle in Minnesota, a river splits. One half flows normally, while the other plunges into a deep hole and vanishes. Despite efforts, scientists can't trace where the water goes. Some locals believe it's a gateway to another world, while others fear it swallows anything, even people, without a trace, leaving behind an eerie, unsolved mystery. A mysterious monolith appeared in Las Vegas echoing the strange structures seen worldwide. Las Vegas authorities announced that a local volunteer search and rescue team had spotted a shiny, metallic monolith near Gas Peak in the Desert National Wildlife Refuge north of the city. Standing at 6 feet, 5 inches tall, and 13 inches wide on each of its 3 faces, the monolith was made of folded sheet metal and held together with rebar and concrete. David Swerner, a gallerist who represents the estate of the late artist John McCracken, initially told the New York Times that he believed the object was created by McCracken. But Swerner later retracted that assertion after getting a closer look at the monolith and seeing that it was machine-made, which was not McCracken's style. The dark truths behind terrifying urban legends. Ever heard of the kidney heist legend? It's not just a story. In some real-life cases, people were drugged, waking up in bathtubs filled with ice, only to discover their organs had been stolen. Or take the black-eyed children, creepy kids who knock on doors at night, begging to be let in. Some believe they're a sign of imminent danger or even death. And the classic Bloody Mary chant. It's rumored that calling her name in a mirror can summon a vengeful spirit, seeking revenge for her violent death. Would you dare to try it? Did you know the human body can stay conscious for up to 20 seconds after decapitation? Or that there's a rare condition called walking corpse syndrome, where people genuinely believe they're dead? In forests, the suicide tree in India has fruits so toxic that it's responsible for more self-offings than any other plant. And in the deep sea, there's a fish called the anglerfish that uses a bioluminescent lure to attract prey, essentially hunting with its own glowing body part.